1 man in, 3 out. This drill teaches players to make sharp turns and to move after they pass. Set up the drill as in the video. The cones should be 10 to 15 metres apart. One player starts with the ball in the middle. The player passes to any of the outside players and immediately runs and gets the ball back. The outside player now sprints to the vacant cone, whilst the inside player passes to one of the other outside players. The drill continues for 30 to 60 seconds, depending on the type of fitness being worked on. Two goals to score into. This game teaches players to move the ball quickly from one side of the pitch to the other, to open up the play. Set up the pitch as in the video. Each team is given a pair of goals that they can score into. The game starts with the coach throwing the ball in. The team that wins the ball scores by working the ball through their scoring goals. The ball is then given over to the other team. Encourage players to think about switching the play to the opposite side to avoid the traffic. The game can also be played with one goalkeeper on each team covering both goals. Two squares, support drill. This drill teaches good handling, support and concentration. Set up and run the drill as in the video. Encourage players to move quickly onto the ball at all times. Encourage the fielders to move the ball quickly. Three-man weave. This drill teaches players to support the play at pace off the shoulder. It also teaches players to release the ball at the correct time, improving decision making. Set up 3 cones on either side of the pitch, with a distance of 15 metres between the two end cones. The ball should start in the middle, with the first pass going left or right. The receiving player takes the ball back into the middle whilst moving forward. The passing player simply runs behind the player they pass to. This continues the whole way across the pitch. When the first group gets halfway across, the next group should start. Players should be encouraged to support off the shoulder with pace while timing their runs. This drill can also be performed by adding 1, 2 or 3 defenders, but players should not have to follow the routine above. See evasion and defending for these drills. 4 lines running. This drill teaches players to use quick hands and to support the play off the shoulder. Set up the drill as in the video with 5 groups. You can vary the number in each group, but you need to change the distance between the groups to account for this. The ball starts where there are 2 groups behind each other. The ball moves forward across the line. The player at the end then passes the ball to the first player in the next group. It is important that the ball is passed to the correct group. As the pace of the drill increases, higher levels of concentration will be required. Five goals mad. This drill teaches players to kick accurately, even when getting tired. Set up 5 gates randomly around the pitch. Players should be in pairs. The aim of the drill is to play a 20-metre kick pass through each of the gates as quickly as possible. Each time the pass is short or incomplete, a 5-second penalty is added on. As many groups of 2 as required can be used at the same time, where groups can knock the ball of the other groups away. Five versus 1 to 1 versus 5. This drill is great for progressing players through possession games and increasing the intensity of your small-sided games. Set up grid of 30 metres by 30 metres. One player starts as the defender, while the other 5 players try to keep the ball away from him. On the whistle, the player in possession makes one more pass and then becomes the second defender. The game is now 4 versus 2. On the next whistle, the player in possession makes one more pass and becomes the third defender. The game is now 3 versus 3. The game can continue in this fashion until a 5 defender versus 1 forward situation arises. But this doesn't always have to happen. Encourage players to tackle without fouling. Arcade kicking. This fun game encourages players to accurately punt pass over 20 to 30 metres. Set up the drill as in the video, placing poles randomly in the middle. Players face each other on opposite sides of the square. The idea of the game is to kick the ball to the other side through the poles, not allowing your opponent to catch it. If the player fails to catch, 1 point is awarded. If the ball hits a pole, 1 point is given away. Play the game to a set score. Backs and forwards. This game teaches the backs to switch the ball from one side of the pitch to the other, avoiding traffic and tackles. Set up 2 teams of backs and forwards. Start the game with a high kick into the middle. If the backs win it, they have to work it out through one of the poles. They get 2 points for working the ball out through the middle pole and 1 for either of the side poles. If the forwards win the ball, they try to work a score. They are awarded 2 points for every point they get. After a score or a wide, the goalkeeper plays possession to the backs. If the backs work the ball out, they simply put the ball down for the forwards to attack. Ball in the middle. This drill promotes quick hands and timing of runs. The drill should have an uneven number of groups. The ball starts at any point, but each pass misses 1 player. As players get used to the drill, the intensity and pace should increase dramatically. Players should be encouraged to receive the ball on the run and not standing. This drill requires high levels of concentration if performed at high speeds. Caterpillar. This drill teaches quick hands and concentration. Set up 2 lines as in the video. The coach starts with the ball and passes to the first person on any side. The ball is worked down the lines over and back from one line to the other. When a player passes the ball, they should shout, "Last ball," and run to the end of the line. As players get used to the drill, more and more balls can be added in. Coaches can get the group to work around poles or cones. This adds in a fun element and also encourages leaders to come to the fore. Double square kick pass. This drill teaches good kick passing and fist passing along with change of direction. Set up the drill as in the video. The ball starts at opposite corners. The ball is kicked to the first receiver and the kicker runs for the return pass. The ball is then fisted to the next receiver and then finally kicked to the next group. The drill continues in this fashion. When players become comfortable with the drill, 2 extra balls can be added in. Decision making will now be increased as players may have to bypass a receiver. Figure of 8. This drill encourages good handling and support runs. Set up 4 cones in a square, about 20 metres apart. The ball starts at any corner, and the first pass is to the group across the diagonal. The second pass must go down the side, and the third pass across the diagonal. Let the player decide which side they make the second pass to. The drill continues in this fashion. Good handling and correct timing of runs should be encouraged. Players should try to receive the ball on the move at all times. Full pitch kicking. This drill encourages long kicking over the full length of the pitch. It also encourages good handling and support play. Set up the drill as in the video. The ball starts at one end and is kicked long to the facing group. Once the ball is secured, it is immediately transferred to the support player who has timed their run. The ball is then kicked long to the other side of the pitch. The ball then goes down the other side. Start with one ball, but several balls should be added in quickly to ensure maximum work. Players should be encouraged to make runs to wing when receiving the kick passes. Full pitch movement. This drill teaches players and team to move the ball from defence into attack very quickly. Set up and run the drill as in the video. Players work in pairs, so they are always resting halfbacks or fullbacks. The first pass always goes to the wing away from the danger area of in front of the goals. The second pass should stay wide, and the middle player should make the run. The third pass should take the ball back to the middle before it is delivered long into the full forward position. The drill then runs exactly the same on the opposite side of the pitch. Players should rotate as in the video. Full team drill. This drill teaches concentration, good handling and correct timing of runs. Set up the drill as in the video. 2 players need to be at the first cone, and 2 players can also be placed at the other cones if numbers dictate so. Players simply go to the cone of the player that they pass to. The ball moves around the square in the same sequence all the time, with the ball ending back at the starting point. Players should be encouraged to anticipate the next pass very early, and to move onto the ball at pace. When players get used to the drill, the ball should move through their hands at top speed. Give and hit. This drill teaches players to release the ball before they are hit. Set up the drill as in the video, placing a player with a tackle bag between every cone. The ball moves around the square, but every time a player makes a pass, they take a shoulder challenge from the player with the tackle bag. The drill should last for a set period of time, at which time the players on the tackle pads are changed. Give and move. This drill promotes high levels of concentration along with good handling and hard work. Set up 6 cones as in the video. Distance between cones should be around 10 meters. The players on the corners always switch with players in the opposite diagonal corner, and the players in the middle always switch with each other. The ball starts at the corner with a pass in an anti-clockwise direction. The passing player immediately switches positions with the player in the opposite diagonal corner. The ball is passed around in the same direction, players moving immediately after they pass or their opposite player passes. As your team gets used to the drill, a second ball can be added in, starting each at an opposite diagonal corner. Give and support. This drill teaches players to time runs and also teaches the importance of accurate passing. It can be set up to emphasize good kick passing or fist passing by varying the distance of the drill. Set up the drill as in the video. The first pass goes to the nearest target player, and the support player receives the ball back. The support player then passes to the next target player, who then transfers to the first player. The ball is then played to the next 2 players who are waiting. They perform the same drill, going in the opposite direction. Players should be encouraged to slow their runs if necessary to receive the ball at the correct time. Give and take. This drill teaches players to play quick 1-2s and keep their concentration as they get tired. Set up and run the drill as in the video. Players start in twos, one with the ball, one without. The player with the ball must play a 1-2 with every player on the outside. The drill should last for 8 to 60 seconds, depending on the type of fitness being worked on. Change roles after the allotted time. The drill should be performed in both directions to ensure players get used to running off both sides. Hit me moving. This drill teaches players to pass the ball to a player on the move. It also teaches players to take the pass on the move without breaking stride. Set up the drill as in the video, placing the cone 15 to 40 meters apart, depending on the ability of your group. The ball starts with any player. The player without the ball must move towards the other cone at pace. The ball is kicked to the player who continues on towards the cone. They immediately turn and perform the same kick to the other player, who is moving towards the other cone. Allow players to experiment with their kicks here, and also encourage the player receiving the pass to turn their upper body only, while their lower body continues to move in the same direction. Keep the free. This drill allows players to develop the habit of keeping possession from free kicks by playing the ball short and getting a return. It also teaches players to use a long free kick to a player moving into space. Set up the drill as in the video. The ball is first played short to the player on the 21-meter line. The player that took the free then takes the return pass before kicking long to the player on the 45-meter line. The next pass is to the first receiver, who has made a run to the end line. The drill continues in this fashion. Encourage the first receiver to run away from the ball before taking the pass. Kick and move. This drill teaches players to kick the ball long and move to a new position after they kick it. Set up and run the drill as in the video, placing the cones between 50 and 40 meters apart. When a player kicks a pass, they immediately sprint to the cone that is free. More cones and more players can be added in to increase the rest period between runs.